What is going on, guys? The Virtual All Gaming with my review of Kekkai Sensen episode 7, and this episode had a ton going on, and of course that ending is definitely going to raise a lot of questions. But the episode itself, it starts off with Black and Leo. They are now in some diner, and we see now they're talking about White, and we do learn apparently that White has a very bad heart, but right now, she is normal, but that right there definitely explains why she has been in the hospital for the last, 3 years. And so we see now Leo was feeling kind of bad about that, but we see now, everything is okay because I'm pretty sure her brother definitely, doesn't mind. And her brother right now, I just feel so conflicted about because that ending right there. I always knew that he would be evil, but but to me, I was having some doubts, just like Leo was. But we see now that apparently some kind of demon had ran into this waiter, and that would then made her spill this cup of hot coffee. But we see now Black. He has these psychic abilities, and we see now that he was able to stop it in midair. And obviously I thought at first before I had my doubts, I thought he could definitely hold that up. As long as he wanted to, but we see now that he actually got tired, and that right there made it spill on Leo, and so that right there was definitely funny. But we'll see after that when Leo was heading to the Libra base, he was once again thinking about that time that he saw Black on that train, and that right there is that right there is where his doubts begin, because when I saw that he could not hold up that cup of coffee for that long, I thought for sure that maybe somebody was pretending to be him, or stealing his body or mimicking it somehow. But we see that once Leo had arrived, we have Klaus pour himself something to drink, and once again we have Zapp trying to kill him, and obviously he fails at that. But still, it's always funny seeing Zapp trying to kill Klaus, even though it will never happen, and we still have no idea why. Zapp is always trying to kill him. To me, it seemed like Zapp's favorite pastime. Maybe I'm not really sure, but we see I'm not sure if it was the next day or what, but when Leo comes in, this time Zapp didn't attack, and it actually points out, Zapp always does this every time, Leo's open that door, come in there, but apparently, on that day it was different, and we have Steven and Chain, these two also is pretty weird, and Chain was hoping, Zapp finally gave up, and his spirits were crushed. But we see now Zapp was actually in trouble, and he wanted, Klaus to come in there and save him, because we saw him with all these guns and blades, pointed at him. And so eventually now when they show up, we have, some kind of guard, staying out there. And we see now, Klaus has showed this guy, a greeting card or a business card, and that right there, was hilarious. But after this very quick, low budget exchange, because that really is what it was. Those two managed to get in there, and so eventually this place where where Zapp is and where Klaus and Leo went to, they were in some kind of underground battle arena. And Zapp is trying to get Klaus to fight in here so that his death can be erased from this demon. Now I forgot this demon name, but I definitely know that this demon was hideous. But we see now Klaus' first opponent, when he actually had to fight in here, it was actually against another human. And to me, that right there was a person. And to be honest, I was definitely hyped for that fight. But right as soon as it began, we have the guy getting one-shotted by some giant crustacean looking monster, and so now that Klaus' first opponent was taken out, we have Zapp and the demon guy watching, and Zapp here was not worried for Klaus, but he was actually worried about the other guy, because we see Klaus just wreck this guy. And even though once again it was low budget, I would have loved to see some serious fighting going on in all the fights, and not just the last two, but Klaus put in work. He was like beating everyone, and we even had Leo we even had Leo betting on Klaus, because obviously like Leo knows how strong he is, and we saw Klaus beating everyone. And eventually, Leo, Leo does find the guy that like Klaus was going to fight, and he's like actually all better now, except he had like a broken arm apparently. But after these two were talking, we like Leo was like definitely confused as to why all people would like come here just to like see some blood, but this guy was like telling Leo it goes beyond that, because obviously every day like something bad can happen, like someone can die, someone can a lot of people. But here in this arena, it's like something different. The people don't want to see blood. They want to see two warriors, duking it out one-on-one, barehanded. And at the same time, I definitely get that. But Zapp here is just so freaking sneaky. But we see now, like there was like one fight, that Klaus did. He was like fighting, like some huge guy. And then when like Klaus did this uppercut, it reminded me, of what's it called, a Shoryuken, used by Ryo and Ken from Street Fighter. And like even in my head, I was like screaming that, because to me that right there is what it reminded me of. And so eventually, Klaus beats everyone, even the remaining champion. And so of course now, Zapp thing is all over, and his debt should be erased. But the owner himself actually gets involved. And we learn now this guy was the previous undefeated champion, which is why he is now, running this place. And so eventually him and Klaus are fighting back, like eventually him and Klaus are fighting. And so we see now, because obviously, this guy definitely knows how to fight. And to be honest, that fight, it was pretty good. And we see now this guy, the owner, he was definitely able to analyze, Klaus's fighting style. But it was then, he made one mistake, or at least he was not prepared for this. And that right there is where Klaus had a switch fist. Because normally he would use one arm for like defending and the other one for attacking, but when he switched sides to his best one and actually punched the guy, we see now that his head freaking exploded, and that right there was like was insane, because obviously like Klaus is strong, but the fact that one punch did that, like, to be honest, that right there caught me off guard. But we learn now that this guy, or the owner, it was not really him. It was just a body, like being used by a vampire. And we even see now Leo, like when he see now that when he opened his eyes and looked at the guy, Leo was like definitely concerned, and he like tried to warn Klaus. And for some reason, I was like wondering why in the world is a vampire, this small, or at least why they're using, like somebody body like this. And so obviously, like this episode, it like to me at least, it left so many unanswered questions, because we see now that once the vampire, was free, it easily overpowered Klaus. But then, after it threw Klaus into the cage, that right there is where we see them all, like now outside. So we have no idea what happened there. Did the vampire die? Did he let them all go? Like, what happened? Like, we just have no idea. And that right there kind of annoys me that, like, it just left so unanswered like that. But now, excuse me. Now, oh my God. Now that they were all outside, there we go. We see that everything was like normal. Zapp was okay, Klaus was okay, Leo was okay. Like, they were all just fine. So it's like, what was the point of us even seeing that vampire if like nothing major was like going to happen with it, except for that awesome fight that it had with Klaus? But now we see Zapp real reason for this, or for doing this, is because he wanted Klaus to be exhausted and tired, because he thought that way he could kill him. But no, Klaus is always on guard 24/7, and Zapp will like never get the upper hand. And we have no idea how bad Klaus got beat up. I mean, oh my God, we have no idea how badly Zapp got beat up. But obviously, like there's no way in hell he killed my boy Klaus. But now we see that while Leo was walking home on his moped, he had to come across Black, and we see now that he was giving Black a ride now, and they eventually, and they eventually passed this the Halloween store, and obviously with all these monsters, the dead demons, walking around now, it pretty much Halloween 24/7, at least now in their world, and we see that apparently where Black is from, they believe that on Halloween, like two worlds will merge, and spirits like that will like come back, like stuff like that. But definitely kind of weird. But we see now that when Leo brings up White, calling herself a ghost, that right there seems to actually get to Black, because like to me it seemed that he did show some genuine concern. But eventually when he does drop Black off, we see now, he was telling Leo that, that she was, a normal girl, so a normal great girl, so please stay pregnant with her. And obviously, Leo will do that. But White here, he had walked at some point and actually, like stole this coat, and eventually he went to, the king of the parity, the girl that was like after, Brody and Hummer, and basically all these other baddies. And so now Black here will like finally make his move, and we learn now that his real name is Blank, and apparently he is like one of the 13 kings. And obviously I'm thinking that those kings will refer to those vampires. And now I'm also wondering, is White one as well? And just how strong is Blank, among the kings? Is number 1? Is number 5? Hell, he could be the weakest, and that would. I'm not saying he's a pushover, but I'm just saying, like those kings can be that strong. But we see now that when Leah finally, finally got to the hospital at So White, she was like knocked out and she was drooling. But we did see a picture on the wall of White, Blank, because that is a real name, and their parents. So I do wonder what happened to them, and hopefully, all these questions will get answered soon, because right now I'm just so curious. But the episode itself, to me, was definitely good. I always love seeing Klaus in action. Blank or Black, whatever we call him. I am so glad his character now shows who he really is, because to be honest, I can't wait to see what he does. Hopefully, the guy's amazing and not a letdown. But the episode itself, to me, it was definitely good. I loved it, to be honest with you. And so for that, I'll probably give it maybe an 8 out of 10. Hopefully, that really is not too much for some of you guys. But of course, I would love to hear what you guys thought about this. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.